Hello everyone and welcome to my another video. And in this video we're going to learn about data science and how to use our data sets in our Jupyter Notebook environment. The purpose of this video is for everyone who are interested in machine learning and data science. In this video, you will learn how to import Python libraries such as Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, and many more. So let's get started. First, we're gonna go and download the dataset we are going to work with. For example, you can download open source datasets, or if you work for an organization or a company that they have a dataset, you can use their datasets to do some scientific and data analytics work. For the purpose of this video, we're gonna go and search for liver disease dataset Kaggle CSV. And here we have the first option. We're gonna click on kaggle.com Indian liver patient records. And then we're gonna go and download the dataset. Before you can download the dataset, you have to register with Kaggle website and then you can download the dataset. So I'm gonna click on download. And once the download is successful, I'm gonna go ahead and extract the dataset from the zip file. I'm gonna go ahead and open our Jupyter Notebook web-based environment. And if you don't know how to use or install Jupyter Notebook, kindly refer to my previous videos on how to install Anaconda. And from here, I'm gonna go and click on new Python 3. And then now we have opened a new Jupyter Notebook. You can rename this project. I'm going to call it Indian Liver Patient Records. And then click on rename. And from here, we're gonna go ahead and import libraries which can help us to manipulate the data. For example, if you want to clean the data, prepare the data, and many more. For the purpose of this, I have prepared a notebook already, which I'm going to copy the code from this notebook, and then we're gonna go ahead and learn together. So I'm gonna copy these two lines of the code, and then here first, if you go and click on markdown, you can use to basically take notes and not to interfere with your code. So I'm gonna type, for example, cleaning the data set, and then I'm gonna use the hash symbol to make it a little bit bigger. I will then click on run. Next, I'm gonna type import pandas as PD, and then import NumPy as NP, and then I'm gonna run it. As you can see, I have an error here, which will indicate that I have input the wrong name, as I did not enter the code correctly. So this one is gonna be PD, and it's working now. So the next step is I'm gonna create a new cell. And then from here, I'm gonna go back and refer to my notes. So the first part is going to be analyzing, cleaning, exploring, and manipulating the data. And then for the next part, we're gonna go ahead and visualize the libraries. We're gonna import the visualization libraries. So for that, I'm gonna go ahead and create a new cell here. And then I'm gonna copy the entire code and then paste it here. So in here, we're gonna import Matplotlib library and also Seaborn. Then again, I'm gonna go and run the code. Next, we are going to import our machine learning libraries. And for that, we're gonna use Scikit-learn. So I'm gonna go ahead and create another markdown here and copy this and paste it. And then we have here now our machine learning libraries, which we might use it later. I'm gonna press Command and Enter to run it. Next, we're gonna go ahead and import our dataset. So we're gonna create another cell, reading dataset. And then I'm gonna create another cell. I'm gonna copy and paste the code. Okay, so if you want to learn about this, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a variable called dataset, and the dataset, we're going to read the CSV file, which in our case is Indian liver patient.csv, and we have set the index column to false. And then we're gonna press enter. Now we're gonna go ahead and read our dataset, and we're gonna look how the dataset is gonna look like. So we're gonna get the first rows. And then I'm gonna create another cell, and we're gonna go ahead and show the first rows. And as you can see on this, as you can see, now we have our columns and rows, and in our columns we have age, gender, etc. Next, we're gonna go ahead and gain more information. For example, if you want to see the shape of the dataset, that means number of rows and columns. So this one is indicates as a rows, and this one is our column. And if you want to see the total number of rows times columns, you can use dataset and size. And then next, if you want to check which column has a null values, you can type dataset.isnull.any. So this means, for example, your dataset has some cells with no values, and using this function, you can retrieve the data and find out which columns it has null value. So now we're gonna go back and do the same. So now we're gonna go ahead and first we're gonna create another cell. We're gonna go ahead and check the shape, and then we're gonna go ahead and see the size, and then we're gonna go ahead and check if there is any null value in our data set. So we're gonna go ahead and paste the following: dataset.isnull in parentheses .any parentheses. And then as you can see, this column has null value or empty cells in the dataset. Next, we're gonna go ahead and do more analysis. Now I want to make a copy of our dataset. I will use the following function. So what that means is basically we're gonna create a copy of the data set that we have previously assigned to. And now we're gonna go ahead and do more analysis. Now I'm going to show you a visualization of the columns which has null value. So let me just copy this markdown first, and then we're gonna go ahead and copy the following. So I will explain this one to you. Now we have copied the data set and we have assigned it to df, so our data frame. And then inside the data frame, we want to look at the following column. And then we're gonna select our column, which we have discovered that there is a null value to it. And then we're gonna press enter. And if you go ahead and scroll to the right, you can discover that there is null value in the following column. Okay, next we're gonna go ahead and find out our columns so we can visually see the columns we have. I'm gonna create another cell and then paste the code. And this is our columns. And next, what I'm going to do, I want to replace the none values with 0. In other words, it means I want to replace the null cells with a value of the 0. This is important because if you don't clean your data set, then the accuracy of your analysis is gonna be reduced. Now we're gonna go ahead and replace the null value. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and create a markdown. Then I'm gonna go and create a new cell. And then we're gonna use the following code. So in this code, we have selected our column in our data frame. And then here we say that, okay, replace all the non-values with 0. Then we press Command and Enter. And we're gonna go ahead and check that our column null value is replaced with 0. If you check, you can find out that our column null value is replaced by 0 compared to this one. For this code, we're gonna go ahead and retrieve our top 3 patients with the highest and lowest number of proteins. And I'm gonna use the following code. So this means we're gonna create a variable called df.largest, and we're gonna find the patients with the highest number of protein. And this is the patients with the highest protein. And then we're gonna do the same for the smallest. Gonna create another cell and we're gonna paste the code. So we have a variable again called df.smallest, and we want the top 3 smallest total protein patients. Gonna press enter, and if you come here, you can see this is the top 3 patient with the lowest protein. And next we're gonna go ahead and count the total number of male and female patient by gender. So gonna copy the following so we can keep track on everything. gonna use Markdown and then Command and Enter. Gonna create another cell and copy the following code. So we're gonna use the following function, print. It means show me the df, which stands for the data frame, which we assigned before, the gender, and count the female, and also here we want to count the male as well. And total number of females are 142, and total number of male patients are 441. Next, we want to plot so we can have a better visualization and easy to understand. We're gonna use the plot method. So I'm gonna go ahead and create another markdown, press enter, and then I'm gonna create another cell, and here I'm gonna copy the following code and then paste it. So here we use the visualization library, which we have imported previously, such as Matplotlib library and Seaborn. So this part of code means that plot a figure with the following size, 20 to 6 pixel, and then we want to retrieve the data from the gender. So that means that it's going to get the gender column and draw a plot for us to show us the total number of male and females. And as you can see, we have the approximately around 142 female patients, and for the male we have around 441 patients. The following functions are very basic functions that you can use. However, they are very powerful if you want to learn more about data science and machine learning. I hope that you learned something from this video. If you like the video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in next video. Thank you.